me, your boy Jay, and welcome again to Freedom Train. Let's get those preliminaries out of the way first, so let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that red button that says subscribe right underneath the video, and go ahead and like that, hit that thumbs up button as well. Right underneath that in the description, you're going to find the links to two books. The first book is going to be Life Force by Tony Robbins. Great book that's going to help you build your health. There's no sense having wealth without health. Also, the other one is Money Master the Game. Two great books that you may want to get for your library, so check those out. Okay, so today's video is back to my girl, Noelle Randall. Gotta love her. And Noelle is going to offer some very powerful strategies as far as setting goals, because quite frankly, if you don't write it down and you don't put a date on it, then it's not a goal. It's only a wish. And so you got to make sure to get that thing written down. She's also going to talk more strategies as far as journaling and things that are going to help you get your mind right, because that's one of the most important things as far as building wealth, getting your mind right. So let's thank you again for going ahead and subscribing, and again, welcome to Freedom Train. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day.
One limiting belief as it relates to what they want to create next, we can help them shift it. And the fastest way to shift a limiting belief is to ask this question. What are three things that are potentially not true about that limiting belief? And as soon as you start to ask those questions, it begins to fall away. Then we can release it, and then we can create a new, what I call an achieving belief. And Noelle, that's like a muscle though. You gotta hold on to that new belief. You gotta look for the evidence that it's true, and you have to keep going no matter what.
I love it. I love it. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit more, because like I said, I was someone that has invested in coaching. So I'm like a big proponent of getting a coach, because I feel like it's a quick way to get to your result, a quick way to success. I've always likened it to the toll road. I'm just going to pay this money. This person's going to teach me this, and I'm going to move there quickly. But you're talking about something that I don't think most people even understand, but my coach taught me, was the beliefs behind some of the negativity. So let's talk about limiting beliefs. Explain what that means, and kind of some of the programming that we have to kind of overcome to become this better thing that we want to be.
So a belief is just a thought you think is true until it's challenged, right? And so we have a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of limiting beliefs about money, for example. So when I started my first business, I had come out of corporate America. I worked for somebody else. I grew a $20 million company. It was just easier growing it for someone else. Start my own company, all my stuff started to come up. All my stuff about my self-worth, who I am, what I believe about myself. Am I good enough? All the imposter syndrome. And so one by one, I started to identify those limiting beliefs. I also had to get a lot of training. I invested a lot, just like you. And I invested in becoming an NLP certified coach. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. And that was one of the first things I did, because I wanted to understand, why did some people just seem to have quick success? It seemed like they went from here to here, or they just believed money was for them, or that success was for them. I didn't believe that. I believed you had to work really hard to make money. I grew up on a farm, right? I grew up on a farm. We worked hard all the time. We didn't have a lot of money. We had food stamps, all those things. And so that was the first belief I worked on, this idea that you have to work really hard. So I started to look at what's not true about that. And what I realized is it's not about hard work. It is about, like what you talked about, Noelle, it's about finding those people, those coaches, those mentors who've already done it, because it's like a hack, right? They can help you quickly go from here to here. And they helped me begin to see that it wasn't about working hard. It was about having a clear plan. It was about building a revenue model, right? It was about doing the things probably you didn't want to do, but things like sales, selling, hiring, so that you could scale your business.
Yeah, I love it. So let me kind of share, because Ursula, you're like a woman of my heart, and we're like so connected on this. So like you said, I worked in corporate, and I worked as a VP and all these things. And so I already knew I had like these leadership skills and I could lead people, but all of my ish really came up when I became an entrepreneur, and I had to do it for myself, and it was all on me. And it's funny because more than anything, I feel like that's what my coaches taught me, was about the psychology and the mindset that I had to work on, more so than do this, do that, do that. More than the tangible things that we do, it was that psychology, it was that mindset. So I learned so much about myself. And like you said, neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Let's talk about that for a second, because I had to change how I spoke to myself. And I think that you probably have some great tips about how you change how you think, so that you can be this great person and you don't feel like an imposter as you lead all of these people, or you earn all of this money. So go there, please.
Well, a lot of times we're not even paying attention, right? We don't even notice the thoughts that we're having. When you start to slow them down, when you start to ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about what's possible for me? Often we've taken on what other people have told us. And not all of those people were well-meaning folks, right? Like they were projecting onto us whatever had happened to them and what was in their world. So I had to start to pull it apart. And I realized how much I had taken on of beliefs and thoughts that weren't mine. And, NLP is about, what those thoughts, what we're saying to ourselves and what we believe. And a lot of times I didn't even realize we have over 100 thoughts that go through our heads every day. I think as entrepreneurs, especially as women, we have 1 million thoughts that go through our heads every single day. And some of the work that I really admire is Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, because one of the things he says, right? Yeah. He says, even though we have 100,000 thoughts or more that go through our head every day, what we don't realize is that they're the same thoughts we had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And so you've got to stop and really slow down your thoughts and see what's there. And the fastest way to do it, is where we started before, is to set a stretch goal for yourself, right? Like one that's going to challenge you, one you have no idea how to reach. And then ask yourself, what do I believe about that? Because all those limiting beliefs will start to pop up.
I agree. So let me share a little bit, because I think we'll go to the next question with this. So like I said, I was working in corporate. I started my own business, and then realizing, like you said, Dr. Joe Dispenza and some of these type of coaching and thoughts that I never even thought about. Like, okay, let me look at my own thinking. And one of them that we're going to touch on, because this is so big, is the money thing. Being worthy. Like, my big thing is I wanted to make $1 million in 1 year. And when I broke that down, it was like $83,333.33 per month. And it seemed too big for me. And it's funny, it's laughable now. I'll be like, oh my God, I only made 83. But it's funny how, our mind shifts, but overcoming that thing to think that I am worthy of this. Like, I had to go into the limiting beliefs. So let's talk about some of the activities or some of the things that a person can do to actually get rid of those limiting beliefs and create a new belief.
So funny, you and I, $83,333 a month. I mean, that is it. We've helped a lot of clients get to that first goal themselves. Yep. And what's interesting is I was just having a conversation with a new client last week, and she's more at a startup level. She's at about $5,000. And we were talking about, I just want to get to $10,000 a month. And I said to her, I asked her the question, I said, why just 10,000? And she's like, well, that's all I can see. And I said, why not 20,000 or why not 40,000? And it started to blow her mind, Noelle. And she emailed me later and she said, Ursula, no one ever asked me that question. I thought that was all that was for me. That's what we're talking about, because, in order to shift the beliefs, you've got to be around people like you, Noelle, people like you who open up the door to say more is possible. So that's the first step. Look, who are you hanging out with? Like, I had to do that. I had to go, who am I hanging out with? Are they making more money than me? Right? No. Right. So you got to find people that are making more money than you, and then find those mentors and coaches. I agree. Coaching to me is a hack. It's like, if someone can get me from here to here really fast, why wouldn't I want to learn from them? And it's not always perfect, right? You're going to invest in things that aren't going to turn out the way you thought, but you're always going to get something that's going to move you forward. And set those stretch goals. I find, and Noelle, you probably find this as well, is that so many CEOs, so many entrepreneurs never put it down on paper. Check this out. I've done so much research about goal setting and goal achievement. You are 99% more likely to achieve your goal simply by writing it down. You know how many of us write our goals down? 10%. I think it's even less than that. And even then, we don't write specific goals down, right? So you have to be specific. So we tell all of our clients, like, when you're ready to reach that 7-figure goal, that $83,333 a month, you got to break it down. It's like, how exactly could that come into your bank account? Or if it's a business, what exactly are you selling that comprises that 83,000 a month? Break it down to the ridiculous so that your subconscious mind can start to see the way. So those are some of the high level tips that we work with our clients on.
Whoa, Ursula just said an amazing point right there about journaling and writing down goals. But let me give you my full interpretation on what I did and how I do writing down goals, journaling, writing down affirmations, and everything that I do to become successful. So Ursula mentioned a great point that my coach taught me about 10 years ago. He taught me that I should not just do certain things like call people 5 times or 5 people per day or just tangible things, but more importantly, I needed to start my day by writing down what I was going to achieve, some of the things that I expected. So I would write down in the morning and start journaling. Today I expect to have 5 clients. One of the clients is going to be like this. They're going to have these type of deals. I'm going to make this type of money. And it was almost like scripting out things that I wanted to happen. And I'm going to tell you, this thing worked like magic. As I started writing down these things that I wanted and I expected, it started to happen in my life and in my business. I literally started to be able to manifest things that I had written down and I had said to myself that morning. I would start to have clients that would offer me money. I would have people that were offering me free homes. I would have people calling me and telling me about 5 or 6 properties that somebody wanted to sell. I really could go on and on about the amazing things that I was able to manifest simply by writing in the morning and scripting out my day, writing my affirmations like I am a successful entrepreneur, I am a great real estate mogul, I am this, that, and the other. Again, whatever it is that you want to be, I would write those things out. So don't just write out just your goals, start scripting what you want your day and your life to be like, and also write and say your affirmations. I am a millionaire, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am brilliant, etc., etc. Okay, now let's get back to this interview. Okay, Ursula, because you are just the queen of all of this. And so I want you to just give. And we're going to, like I said, we're just going to spill all the secrets. So talk to everyone. Tell us your best tips on how to sell with intention and become a game changer.
So to sell with intention means to choose the result ahead of time. So for example, we've been talking a lot today about how to get to an $83,000 month. So to sell with intention, to get really clear on what you need to sell to reach that amount, and to sell with intention ultimately means to choose the result ahead of time. So this is about choosing your top 20%, only working with your ideal clients. When you're on the phone with your ideal client, you expect that you can solve their problem. You expect them to say yes. And again, this is working with clients who need what you have. So it's coming from that place of belief, right? Believing that they are your ideal client, believing that you can help them, that you can ultimately solve their problem. When people feel that confidence from you, they say yes. And that's a game changer in your business.
Yes, it absolutely is. So let's get into that a little bit more, because I love intention. And I think that's an important word that entrepreneurs don't even use enough, is being intentional with the client that they work with, being intentional with what they do each day, being intentional with the money that they're going to make. And so let's go there. Let's really go there. Go.
Well, one of the first books I ever read is The Power of Intention by the now late Dr. Wayne Dyer. That book changed my life because I was in sales working 80 hours a week plus, like just working so hard. I was told sales is a numbers game. I'm sure you've heard that, Noelle. I'm sure we've all heard that. It's a numbers game. So I had to literally make 100 cold calls every single day on a tick sheet before I could go home. Okay. And I thought, this is not getting me where I need to go. I just feel like I'm working really hard. Then I read the book, The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I had a moment. And I thought, well, what if I started to choose the result ahead of time? To me, that is what intention means. So instead of making 100 cold calls every single day, I made 25 very intentional cold calls to companies that I wanted to work with. And I wanted 2 appointments a day. That was my clear intention. 2 appointments a day, 10 appointments a week. Those were my numbers, and my sales started to skyrocket. It's the reason I went from an outside salesperson, professional at the age of 22 to running a $20 million company by the time I was 27. Every day I had a clear intention. Every month I had a clear intention. Every year I had a clear intention. And those intentions started to come true. It's the reason I wrote my book eventually called Selling with Intention, because it'll change everything when you live from intention every day.
I love it. I love it. And that's why I wanted you to speak on that, because there's so much power in intention. And I think that's what goal setting is. And sometimes I do think there could be some negative connotation with goal setting, because people can get so trapped in their goal and then just making another goal and making another goal and making another goal and never getting to happiness. But that's why the intention is so important, because you're intending for a result that you get, and you're intending not just to reach this, check this box, or, I did 100 calls. That's just checking a box. That's not an intention of, okay, I'm getting 2 clients, 2 people that I'm going to work with. I'm going to love, enjoy working with them. Like, when you take intention to that next level, I could just go on and on, because it's not just, I want 2 clients. You start there and then you build on it. I want 2 people like this. I want a person like this. I wanted this like that. I wanted this like, and you really just start to manifest it. So good point, Ursula. Keep going on that one.
Well, I have a hack for you. I want to give you a hack. You asked for some hacks. You asked for some things when it comes to goal setting. And this is from, I wrote a book called One Great Goal. And by the way, books to me are all divine downloads. They come through. I learn as much from writing my own books. And one of the things that I learned, and when I went back and I researched all of my goal setting, is that I shifted how I set my goals. So I write them in present tense, which we've heard before. Write them as if they're already happening. Write them as if you expect and it's a done deal. One of the things I noticed is that I started to, at some point in my career, started to write my goals with a checkbox in front of them. Now, when think about, when we create a task list, a to-do list, we always put check boxes, right? Because we know we're going to get that task done. We're going to check it off. It's going to feel so good. Typically when we write goals, we're taught to number them or put bullet points. When you number them, subconsciously your mind says, okay, here's number 1, here's number 2, and you kind of can get stuck. So I started to shift that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take what I know from a task list, and I'm going to bring it over to goal setting. I started putting little boxes in front of my goals, Noelle, and those boxes said to my goals, I am going to check you off. You are already done. My goal setting, my manifestation process started to skyrocket. I started to show this to my clients, and that process in itself can help you really quantum leap your goals from where you are and achieving them even faster.
Yes. Ursula, can I tell you, I love you so much. I just learned that like 3 days ago, putting the box in front of them and checking them off. I have like a couple of courses that like lower ticket things that I was going to do. And I literally have I just started doing that. You're right. I was numbering them. It's old programming that we have that just psychologically throws us off. So you are so good with that.
We're so in alignment, Noelle. I love this.
Yes. Okay, Ursula, this is absolutely amazing. And you have transformed so many lives and so many businesses. So tell us how someone, because you are the queen of this, can take their annual income into their monthly income. Like, how do you do that?
So we have a free gift. If you go to ursulainc.co, it's our Quantum Revenue Expansion Masterclass. It's a 3-part course that will show you how to create a new revenue model to turn your annual income into your monthly income. We'll talk about how to get there. What are the next steps that you can take? And then we'll also get into your programs, your packages. A lot of times we find that our clients they have their packages, but maybe they're not priced correctly. A lot of our clients have to double or quadruple their prices just so it's in alignment with them. And we'll talk about how to do that. And then finally, we'll talk about how to collapse time. So if you want to scale your business to 7 figures, maybe you're at multi-6 figures, you want to get to 7 figures, we'll dive into how to collapse time by really identifying who you need on your team. We'll talk about how to use your time more effectively, what you should be doing versus what your team should be doing. Also talk about how to really be in alignment with the kind of clients you want to call in, the next level that you want to call in. Being a CEO is so much more about leading, especially when you want to scale your business, than it is about doing. So we want to get you out of the doing, more into the leading.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This is an amazing information that you've been giving out. I know that you are a gem and a wealth of knowledge. So I thank you so much, Ursula, for being here. And just where can people reach you? If they one more time, where can they reach you?
Yeah, the best place to go to the homepage, ursulainc.co. That's where you can find the Quantum Revenue Expansion Masterclass. And if you want to connect even more, you can go to ursulainc.co/apply, fill out a little information, and some of my team will set up a time to chat with you.
Wow, that was an amazing interview, and I have a special gift just for you. You can get my new book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, absolutely free. Just go to noellsfreebook.com. That's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noellsfreebook.com. It's my book where I poured my heart into. I share with you all of my secrets, all of my tips, and everything that I did to get out of my parents' basement to become the real estate millionaire that you see today. And again, I'm giving you this book absolutely free. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.